everyone. Today we'll be talking about education in relation to the SDG 4, quality education. Education can be defined as the process of acquiring knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values. It is not just formal schooling, it is lifelong learning. Talk about SDG 4, quality education. This goal focuses on inclusive and equitable quality education and promotes lifelong learning opportunities for all. For the purpose of this video, I will be mentioning 3 targets in no particular order. All boys and girls must complete free quality primary and secondary education with active learning outcome. 2. Affordable and quality technical, vocational, and tertiary education. 3. Adult literacy and youth literacy. How far have we come with the SDG 4? I'll be talking about 1 pros and 2 cons. According to the UNESCO's GEM data, 110 million adults, adolescents, and children have enrolled schools since 2015. Also, there has been an increase in upper secondary completion from 53% in 2014 to 60% in 2025. Now to the cons. According to the 2025 SDG 4 scorecard, 252 million children and youth were out of school in 2023. The adult and literacy gap, there was a 54 million illiterates remained in 2024, and majority of these were women, taking 63% of the entire percentage. What is the way forward with this goal? Investing more in education. I believe education should be placed as priority when the budget of the country is being prepared. There should be more emphasis on education. Secondly, there should be more teacher training. As the scheme keeps improving and more educations are being found, the teachers should be trained to be able to teach their students effectively.
Education is one of the greatest forces in the world. It does more than just explaining to us how to read or write. It sharpens our minds and also expands our possibilities into ways that we could never have imagined. In my opinion, I would say that education is the foundation of personal growth. It explains to us how to contribute to the society, what we are capable of doing, and also who we are. It builds confidence, it strengthens and sharpens critical thinking, and it also provides tools that we can use to make informed decisions. Beyond individuals, let's look at societies. I would say education transforms societies. As people learn, society grows. Children that have quality educations, they become adults in that society who are part of the transformation of that particular society.
While education remains a right, not a privilege, many are out of schools because of barriers we can break. Let's delve into the barriers of education that serve as an hindrance to quality education. To start with, poverty. Poverty is a cankerworm that has eaten into the progress of quality education in Nigeria and even the world at large. Because there's so many people who live in abject poverty, living from hand to mouth, where they cannot afford the basic education that a child deserves. This is nothing but an eyesore. Because these children come from poor homes, many of them result into being used for child labor. Child labor, despite being banned by the federal government, is still on the high rise as a cause for the lack of quality education in the country. Because many of these children who come from poor and indigent backgrounds cannot even afford to feed daily, and so they end up walking on the streets or doing so many jobs when they ought to be in school. This is terrible, and this needs to change. The rate of insecurity and insurgency in the nation is alarming because this has been a huge barrier to the lack of quality education. Quality education has become something that, even when wished for, cannot come because people who live in states like Borno and the likes, where the rate of insecurity, insurgency, and terrorist attacks are very high, many of them result into not going to school or even running for their dear lives. How then do we expect quality education to be enforced when even the leaders of tomorrow are trapped out in the struggle for their own lives? This is something that needs to be looked into. The lack of basic educational facilities for people living with disability is also something that needs to be looked into, because there are so many facilities that the nation is lacking. People with disabilities can't have access to quality education because of the lack of basic inclusive facilities. And this is something that needs to be looked into. Every child deserves to dream. Every child deserves education. Every child deserves to live. Every child deserves to be taught, regardless of who they are, where they are, how they look, or where they come from. These barriers to education is something that we can break. You and I can make a change. It takes you and I to make one step at a time to building a better education. Of this campaign is to let you and I know that education is something that every child deserves, not just some people. Education is our backbone. Education is the best legacy. Education is the weapon to change the world, and every child deserves to get that. Wherever you find yourself in your little space, make use of the opportunity you have to educate a child, because quality education is the way forward. Thank you.